how are you going to feel when you go home at the end of the day, and how are you going to sleep at night?
You really don't have to know.
I think that our career goals aren't really as big of a deal as our like financial goals in life.
Welcome to the Alyssa and Julian Podcast.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Julian, and this is the Alyssa and Julian Podcast. Oh, we back.
We barely said anything, and my mic was like falling. I was like, I'm Alyssa, and I was like,
Sorry,
If
guys.
you're watching, you saw my face. Anyways.
Welcome back
To the Alyssa and Julian Podcast.
If you checked out last week, you know we had an amazing guest on, Mr. House, my guy John. We don't have an amazing guest this week. In fact, I'm your amazing guest this week. I hope that's okay.
How are you an amazing guest this week when you're on every week?
I'm just an amazing guest every week. You ever heard Kanye West line, "My presence is a present"? Oh, that's
Anyways.
so awful. I'm so sorry. I did
What?
not. That came off so egotistical. You know, I should never quote
your
Kanye West
Intention.
and not expect it to come off that way. I'm so sorry. Wow. Anyway, my intention of this week, how deep do I want to go? Do I want to be extremely transparent, or do I want to just kind of keep it surface level?
However you want to go.
All right.
I was going to say however deep you want to go, but that sounds a little weird. So we'll keep
Well,
it PG around here.
Yeah.
You can share as much as you want to share.
All right, we'll get real transparent. So this week, my intention is kind of really adultish. I have
Adultish?
a really big bill.
Aren't we
looming.
supposed to like adult all the time?
Yeah, but like we adult all the time, but this is like on a whole nother level of adulting. I have a really big bill due at the end of the week, and I currently do not have the funds for it. So my goal is to make all the funds for it this week.
Honestly,
Yeah.
adulting sucks in general. So the fact that it's like adult even more, like, oh,
Yeah.
I
So,
cringe for you.
yeah, this week is going to be full of adulting, full of zero rest. I'm probably going to be drained. Like, you're listening to this on Monday, like by Friday. I'm drained as you're listening to this, and we're recording this on Saturday. So like, yeah, by next Saturday, I'm probably going to want to crawl into a little hermit and not come out.
The next episode we record is going to be like mid this crazy week for him. So you're just probably going to hear a whole nother Julian like the next episode. You're going to be like,
Yeah.
who is that guy? Who replaced him?
Someone check on him. Is he okay?
Blink twice if you need help.
Anyway, what's your intention of the week?
So my intention for this week is this is the last episode for the podcast I had planned. So I need to go through and plan some more podcast episodes so that I'm good for the next month. That's the plan, month and a half. And then we sneak, some guests in there. So as long as I have like our episodes planned.
I have good guests in mind. A few of them, actually.
Yeah, see, Julian kind of plans the guest ones. And I do the other ones. So that way, like when it's like a week with no guests, like we're still kind of prepared. So this is the last one I have. So I need to prep episodes. And then, your girl felt a little crazy the other week. I have 2 videos I need to edit for my channel.
Whoa. I mean, if you pay me, I'll edit them. You just heard I have bills to pay this week. So, like, well, one hand wash the other, you feel me? I know a really talented editor who needs money.
All right, tell him to hit me up. We'll have to have a talk.
I will.
So I have 2 videos. I want to get at least one out. I don't know when. Within the next week and a half. I would even set a boundary for myself, or else it's probably not going to get done. So within the next week of us recording, I'll even narrow it down to that. It is Saturday, June 3rd.
So by next Saturday, you need it done.
I want it done and out.
Whoa.
Right. I want to set a limit for myself because it's already been like a week since I recorded it. So I want it to be up soon. So yeah, that's 2 very precise intentions that I'm going to have this week. So it might be a little,
both kind of. Well, one has to happen. Like
one
you
has to. Like
you
one's not
have
even
to
a
have at least
question.
one episode for the
I feel
podcast plan for next
I
week.
feel like I don't remember. I don't remember if I like mentioned anything specific. I had one, I'll like spoil. One was like a vlog type. And I don't remember if I mentioned anything specific, but I feel like if I did, the more I wait, I'll just have to scrap it because with the amount of time that I wait and what I've said, like that type of thing, like it's just going to be not relevant anymore.
I mean, my next video is coming out, was recorded on Mother's Day, so there's that.
Well, yeah, but it was like...
It's a month later. It's coming out like June 10th.
Yeah, but it's not bad. Like, I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. That's why I want to give myself a time limit, get it out there. I'm going to keep overthinking it and be like, okay, it's not relevant anymore. I don't want this. It's just going to be thrown out. But then I wasted all my time trying to have a comeback that I didn't even use. And then I'm just going to be in the same circle. So, anyways, that's enough of me rambling. Streaming platforms, Spotify. Yeah, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music,
Google Podcast,
anywhere
baby.
you stream your podcast.
Your podcast.
Or go on YouTube.com.
Or go on YouTube.
They're going to be like, wow, that's a weird echo. Yeah, it's annoying. I hate when it happens. I got to fix it. Go on YouTube, search Alyssa Julian Podcast. Watch us on there. Hello.
Hello.
So today's topic.
Hello, Moto. Sorry, that was just, you never heard that?
No. Where's that from?
Motorola phones when they would boot up. See, you never had a Razor, bro.
I didn't. I wish I did. That was
Hello, Moto.
one of the phones I've always wanted. Today's podcast topic is talking about finding out what you want to do in life. I feel like this could go like 3 different ways. I feel like this could go a really deep, specific route. A very like, here's general advice for you. And a little bit of the in-between where it's like not so deep, but it's a little more like talk to and a little more detailish about general advice.
I feel like I could just say one thing and just end this entire episode.
All right, so this episode is only going to be like 10 minutes long. All right, see you next week.
Try new things.
Oh. He said, exclamation
Mic
point,
drop.
exclamation point, exclamation
Mic
point,
drop.
underline.
You don't know what you're going to like unless you try it.
See, I love, but I hate that.
You don't. It's true. Like, I would have never known how much I love YouTube if I never uploaded that first video in 2013. I would have never known, hey, I freaking love this thing. Like, I love pushing upload. I love pushing upload. I would have never knew I liked video editing if I didn't jump in and actually try to like edit my videos better than what I was doing at the time. I, wouldn't have known I liked music unless I bought that piano that I bought, which I might have wasted some money by not playing it for a while, but like it really wasn't because this is me dabbling in these things.
This is what I know I've hung out with you too long because that was on my list too. Try new things. Exclamation point, exclamation point. But me being me, I would say it, but I sound almost like hypocritical because would I try new things? Probably not, depending on what they are. That's why I said I hate, but I love it. I hate actually going out and trying new things because I get scared and nervous, and I'm like a more like if I'm comfortable, I'm with it. I like to be in my little comfortable bubble. But I love the fact that like the way you explain it, where like you never know if you're gonna like it unless you try it. Like 100%. But like, do I want to try it? I don't really know.
There's only 2 things in life I'm very close-minded about. I'm very close-minded about food, which is bad. I shouldn't be. I'm getting better. I'm working on that. The second thing is drugs. Those are only 2 things I'm very close-minded about. My mom worked in a hospital all my life. So, growing up with that experience, hearing horror stories, seeing people like, cause I grew up in a city, kind of poor city where, you see kind of some of these people like the worst of these effects. I mean, even alcohol, like I've seen my fair share of bad alcoholics and alcohol, cause things. So a lot of that stuff really does affect you and how you handle yourself going forward. Alcohol stuff I guess didn't bother me as much. The drug related things though, really, like some of the things I seen like because of drugs really like threw me for a loop mentally. And honestly, like I could never even, like people have offered me stuff and have wanted me to do stuff with them, and I'm just like, dude, like mentally, because of like what I've seen, stories I've heard, I don't want anything to do with that.
It gets like really scary. So when I went through high school, I was friends with a lot of people that did a bunch of different things. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm judging you, you do this or blah, blah, blah. It was like a you do you kind of thing, but like I don't want to do it. So everyone always kind of thought I was a part of that group and like did drugs and like at least like smoked pot and all this stuff. And for me to say like I've never smoked a day in my life, like some people take it like by like shock because of my friends and like who I hung out with. But it's just like you got to know like I guess you should like you could say, because people are going to do what they want to do and like people are going to think what they want to think about you because of also like your friend group, who you hang out with, where you are, like that type of stuff. But it's up to you to really be like, yeah, okay, I'll give in almost, and I want to do this, or no, I'm not really into that, or no, it's not really going to benefit me. Like
what she's talking about really is sticking to your guns and your morals. Like if you lean on your morals and
no peer pressure, people,
you don't succumb to peer pressure, like you'll be a lot happier. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things out there like you can, if you want to do these things. I'm not your parent, obviously parents come first, but after that, like if they don't care and you want to do things in your life, like experience new things, or if you're grown and you can experience new things without permission, do your thing. But what we're talking about is more so a level of like, hey, they're doing it, they want me to do it, I'm just gonna do it. And just because they say do it, you know what I mean? It's
that verse.
I've never been that person.
I'm good, I don't want to do that. Like you really have to have the conversation with yourself about I don't even know how to explain it, because like it's peer pressure if in a sense, or it can be, but then it gets to the point where like sometimes a lot of people give into peer pressure and it sets them like over the edge.
Yeah.
And then like at that point you went too far, and at that point it's not really like on your friends, so to speak, that would even say like peer pressured you into it. At that point, like you took it almost upon yourself to go a little further, because that's where like, I feel like this is going like in a whole other topic, but like that's where like addiction comes, and people never know what they're actually going to get addicted to or what they can get addicted to until they keep, I don't know, like I've never done anything, so like I can't speak obviously from experience, but like I feel like addiction just happens in so many, like on a lot of things nowadays, like something you never thought you'd get like addicted to.
So I know an addiction expert that I'd love to have on, and let us know in the comments if that's something you guys would be interested in hearing about that. I'm no expert on addiction.
Because I feel like, sorry, not to cut you off, but I feel like a lot of people talk about addiction with like the hardcore stuff, but I feel like you can get addicted to like smaller stuff too. So like something you wouldn't think you'd be like addicted on, it got you, and now
on the financial side of it, I don't want to be addicted to anything. The only thing I'm addicted to financially is Coca-Cola, and even that's expensive. No, camera equipment though, I broke myself off of that. Like I haven't bought anything new. I mean, so the last thing I bought was on my birthday. I ordered something and I was just like, it was a birthday present, And have I used it? I used it once. Was I in love with it? And how much did I pay for it? $10. You know what I mean? So it's like,
not a bad investment.
Yeah. Like I've been doing a lot better, because at the end of the day, my freedom has become more important to me. And I feel like we're just on a whole other episode at this point. But my freedom has become my freedom has become super important to me. And when you work for yourself, the only boss you have is your bills. So as long as you can get those down to as low as possible and become as like, what do they call it? There's a special name for it, but like it's like having low operation costs. If you get your costs down monthly to as low as possible, that's the less you have to work, and the more you can focus on the things you want to focus on, like YouTube, like being a good father. So that's my goal right now. But back to what we were talking about. What was the topic again?
Finding out what you want to do in life. Figuring out. I feel like it's kind of the same thing.
So finding out what you want to do in life. I mean, we weren't too far off topic, because a lot of those things, addiction can really hinder what you want to do in life, because if you're so addicted to a life that may not be good for you, you are kind of stuck and limited on the new things you can try and venture out to do, because you're stuck on that addiction, on that life that you think is, maybe feeding you in the immediate, but not helping you in the long term. You know what I mean?
I feel like another thing I had was like finding something you're interested in, whether it be a job you did.
Yeah.
When you either are of age to finally get a job, if it's something you did and you were like, oh, I like this part of it. Like, I want to learn like this aspect of this thing. Or school, if you really liked a class. Like, a lot of people I feel like go through like the financial stuff in school and like find out they like that, and like financial something, accountant, something with that. Because I know I kind of was interested, but I'm also not like a mathematician around here. So I feel like I knew I would kind of struggle in that area, because like it wasn't the easiest class, but if I understood it, I feel like I would love it, if that makes sense. Or I feel like a hobby. That's where Julian comes in with his try new things. If you're trying new hobbies, you see what you like and you see what you want to progress in and figure out like little tips, tricks, hacks type situation.
I think that in terms of hobbies are a good clue for what you might want to do.
Hobbies are a big part, I feel, like what you want to
Well, you got to be careful with hobbies though, because once you make something a job, is it still going to be something you like to do? That is the question. Because when you talk about finding what you want to do in life, ultimately the goal is find something I want to do that's going to make me money, that I can live off of, that can become my new career. And when you talk about a hobby that can do that for you, like, yeah, that's fine. A hobby can do that for me. But do I see myself doing this hobby? Average week is a 40-hour work week. Do I see myself doing this hobby 40 hours a week? I like music. I don't see myself doing music 40 hours a week. What are my other hobbies? I like gaming. I tried gaming full time. No, it's not for me full time. I can't survive like that. What else? Just some examples. I like to drive. I do it, but do I want to drive full time? No, not really.
I could never.
So like, it's just, again, these hobbies, like the fact that driving is a hobby of mine makes it more bearable to work in an industry where I have to drive a lot. But at the end of the day, it's not what I really want to be doing. I love camera gear. I love camera equipment. Is that something I can see myself doing 40 hours a week? Heck yeah. I love film. I love videos. I would definitely work in that industry 40 hours a week. I love talking to people. Could I do that 40 hours a week? Definitely. You know what I mean? But it depends on what we're talking about. Could I talk to you about politics for 40 hours a week? No, absolutely not. God. So really it just comes down to like, I think that this is an important point too, guys. There are aspects of being a YouTuber that I do not like. There are aspects of being a YouTuber that you don't like. Let me finish. I'll get back to that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but no, seriously, that might be it. Every job in the world has an aspect that you don't like about it. So don't give up on something being a passion of yours or a career that you might like because there's one aspect of it that you don't like. There are multiple aspects of certain jobs that just aren't the best and, are a little tedious and sometimes like manual labor work. And that stuff isn't always as fun. But if the rest of the job is awesome and you love it, like, don't be afraid to stick with it and mess with it,
Fair. Because like that's kind of another thing I had that we could probably jump to. Not really like a thing. I wrote it's a process and it will take time. Mm-hmm. I feel like finding out what you want to do in life is not gonna come easy. You're definitely gonna like trial and error a lot of things. You're gonna be like, oh, I like this, but like Julian said, I don't like this little part, or I love this. I wish I could only do just this part of something instead of like the whole little shebang over here. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, I don't know, it gets hard for some people because I feel like a lot of people, especially adults I feel like to put a lot of pressure on people really young to get them to find out what they want to do in life, as if it's not like, as if they don't already know that it's a trial and error thing. Like half the people that are doing their jobs now, whether it's like teaching or I don't know, all the other stuff. I bet you like when they were telling people at like high school age, like when teachers are telling like high school kids, oh, you got to figure out what you want to do in life, probably didn't know what they wanted to do either. So it's kind of like a little, like it doesn't make sense. Like a lot of people put a lot of pressure on you, especially when you're high school, especially junior, senior year, when you're doing classes that are basically like colleges are going to be looking at, all these things are going to be looking at. They're making sure like when you step out of that school, like you know what you want to do in life, you know what college you're going to, and you know what your major is going to be, and blah, blah, blah. You really don't have to know.
I think I said this too at podcast episodes ago too. It's not hard to make money, right? But it's about how you want to do it. You could do it in a good way. You could do it in a bad way.
What did you say? You said you could do it
morally,
yeah,
or immorally. And seriously, but like that goes back to this case of now, like, all right, what do I want to do with my life? Well, how much money do I want to make?
How fast do I need that money?
How fast do I need that money? I mean, that's fair too, but like, how do I want to make that money? So figuring out what I want to do in life, I'm not going to go and start up like a scamming industry, scamming people out of their money, because I want to make my money morally. I want to do it correctly. I don't want to feel like I'm cheating people out of their hard-earned money every day. I want to feel like, you know, I'm a part of something bigger than that. I'm changing lives every day. You know what I mean? So I think that that's something to consider too when you're looking at what you want to do with your life. Because there's a lot of careers out there that can make you a lot of money, but it's just how you're going to feel when you go home at the end of the day and how you're going to sleep at night. Those are big deals that people don't always talk about when choosing a career.
I feel like choosing a career gets very complicated because, I don't know, I feel like you might know what you want to do, and like part of you, I feel growing up, gets really set on like where you'd want to work. Or if you see like a TV show or you're watching a TV show and you're like, oh my God, I would love to do that. Like, that's what I want to do.
Yep.
And I feel some people get kind of let down in a way when it like doesn't fully go through like how they always dreamed it would be.
Yep.
But I feel like that can't really stop you from still figuring it out. Like, even though you didn't go to where a dream school or got a dream career and the dream spot you've always wanted to work, doesn't mean like something good isn't going to come for you. Like, you could work in a different corporation, in a different business, in a way different setting or state that you want to live in, and it could still go like better than imagined. I feel like that goes back into like the trial and error. Like, I could tell you, especially when I was in high school, even now, if I had to move for a career, I would be so scared that I feel like my introverted self would talk myself into being like, no, I can't do that. I can't go there. I can't just pack up and move for this opportunity. Like, what if I don't like where I live? What if I don't like my job? Then what? Blah, blah, blah. It would be hard for me to tell myself, even now, that like you just have to do it. You have to experience it. You have to see what it brings you, almost like you have to see kind of what it brings to the table. Because I feel like you would jump the gun and be like, we're moving here. We got to do this. And I'd be like, what?
See you in NYC tomorrow, man.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It's hard though. Like, don't even get me on the topic of moving, because I've thought about it. I've gone back and forth. I think I'm good where I'm at. But
see, I feel like it's so weird. My mic doesn't want to stay up. I feel like it's weird because I feel like we're actually in like opposite spectrums, because you're like, oh, I'm good where I'm at. And I typically am not one for a lot of change. I'm not one for not knowing really what's going to happen. But right now, for some reason, at this point in life, if you told me we had to pack up and move in like a week, I'd be like, sayonara, people. I'm out. I don't know what it is. This is definitely something new and even weird for me to even think about sometimes, because I'm like, who am I? But if I like was in a position where I had to get up and move right now, I'd be so excited. It
would depend on why you're saying we had to move. Like, I'm a career guy at the end of the day. Like,
well, obviously it'd be for like some type of job relation.
yeah, but what job? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like I'm not going to sit here and move for your current job. Like if you told me your current job told me I had to go to like Virginia or something like that, like I'd be like, I'm not going there for that. You're just going to quit. You know what I mean? Or you could go if you want. I'm not going. Yeah, like I'm not going for that. So like if you told me, oh, you know, this big publisher wants to sign you to a show out in LA, I'd be like, oh yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? There's a difference there. So it depends on the opportunity, because you got to look at this. Like, I believe we are so close to a prime location and a good spot for filming and content creation. Like I could get to where I need to go in like an hour to go film an amazing video. I don't think I could be put in a better position than that. So it's hard to tell me, all right, you got to move. And I'm like,
You feel like it.
It's not that I don't even feel like it, because trust me, I would love to. Like, I would be down, but my biggest thing is I feel like this is the best position for where I'm at in my content career right now.
I mean, I feel like you said, it depends on reasoning, I guess.
The opportunity.
I feel if you mentioned New York, Julian doesn't need a reasoning. He would just be like,
no.
all right, let's go. There's a couple places that you could mention that Julian would just be like, I don't need to know more. I'm already packed. I'm waiting on you. Like, let's go. I'll start loading the truck that you didn't even know I got. We're ready to go. But I feel
Pretty
like,
much.
I don't know. Part of me is, I'm weird because, like I said, my introverted self would be like, heck no, I'm not ready for that. Not that I would ever, I think, be ready. But I think right now, with the mind state that I'm in, being like, oh, I would go, like, let's go, let's move somewhere new, we'll experience something. I feel like part of me also needs to, obviously, like, I'm not gonna do it because it's not really an opportunity, but I would take advantage, because I feel like if I actually sat here and like overthought it, whatever, I would never get back to this place, if that makes sense, and go for that opportunity. But like I said, like, it's a new, I don't know what it is, like a new environment. And I feel where I'm at with like not restarting, but like trying to restart my actual channel, a new place could make it like really new, like fresh start. And I feel like I just imagine a lot of, not even so much place as like where we live, like house-wise, and thinking of just like, I've always been a person that needs like a space for everything, if that makes sense. So I just think for us, like a big enough place to live where we're not setting this up every time we record, and it'll just be a room. And I watched this YouTuber lately that just went on. She went on, it was just a vacation. But I'm like, oh my God, like, imagine, because like, you know, YouTubers, like when they go on vacation, like they don't just go on a vacation, like they're working. Yeah. But I'm like, imagine just like that new like space feeling. Yeah. To work in. Like I feel like that's how people get a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivation. Like it's a new environment, a new spot. And I feel like at that point, like, is that what I need? You know what I'm saying? I feel like tried to explain my overthinking brain on all this stuff. I don't even know if that made any sense at all.
I'm just going to try to tie it back to the topic. What you're talking about, first of all, don't overthink it. If you're looking for a career, don't overthink it. But second of all, the word you're looking for is you're looking for inspiration. Maybe. Inspiration.
Or motivation. Probably the both of those.
Yeah. It's weird because for artists, inspiration is motivation. In video editing and content creation is an art. So you have to start with, you get inspired for this idea, then you make the idea, then you go into the post-production of the idea, then you upload the idea. And then it goes back to the inspiration. So it's like a big like wheel. So it could end up feeling like a hamster wheel, but that's another topic for another day.
They're going to listen to this episode and be like, dude, what?
Well, that's just the content creation hamster wheel. In terms of knowing what you want to do and learning what you want to do, figuring it out, it comes down to, like I said, trying new things and not being afraid to get into a hamster wheel, like a content creation hamster wheel, because a lot of times routines can be fun, you know, especially if you enjoy the process and, you know, don't just go through the motions. A lot of these routines can be fun to set up. It could be interesting. It could be a new experience, something you weren't expecting to be so in love with, you know? And that's kind of how content creation came up for me. You know, I started off as a gamer, and then I was like, I don't really like this gaming thing anymore. I kind of want to move into like IRL basketball videos. I was doing that for a minute. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to just go into straight up vlogs. And that's where I'm at now. And I've been having some of the most fun ever, man. I got a text today saying that like I'm an amazing editor, and, you know, comments like that. Like, I love when people say my videos are good, but like when you compliment like a specific skill especially one that I've been working on like that and trying to perfect, it means a lot. So, you know who you are. Thank you. Second of all, I will say, like, don't be afraid to sharpen skills, because sharpening skills will help you nail these positions and get these jobs or careers that you're looking to get. I just applied for something about 2-3 weeks ago. I got denied for it. And this is a great tip for anybody. If you ever get denied for a position, always ask. I heard this one time, and I forget where I heard this, but always ask, how can I make my resume better? How can I improve? How can I want to get this position, you know, I want to get a position similar to, and like this, you say it so respectfully. Don't sound salty. Don't be mad. Yo, I didn't get this job. Like, why didn't I get it? I'm overqualified. Don't say any of that. Literally I sent a message back. I said, hey, blah, blah, blah. We'll just say Terrence for this example. Hey, Terrence, my name is, or no, they know your name. Hey, Terrence, I appreciate you getting back to me. I'm just curious, you know, what I could do on my resume going forward, because I would like to land a position in this field. How can I improve my resume to maybe land something like this in the future? And then that comes off as so humble and with so much like humility and respect for these people. Like, people love to teach, especially on things that they know they're smart at and they know they're good at. They love to teach. So like when you give somebody that respect of teaching you, like, it goes a long way.
I feel like that also looks good in their eyes, because even though they originally denied you, I feel like they'll almost remember you in a sense. They're going to know that you want this. They're going to know that you want to learn and get to the point where you do land an opportunity in that field, and say something else came up, almost the same position, if not sound a little different, came up in that field or even the same place. If you reapply or talk to them or try to get a job there, like, they're going to remember you, and it's going to like be good in their mind, because it's going to be like, oh, we denied them, but they asked, how can they improve? Like, they're willing to take
learn
that extra step to make sure like they can do this job. They want to do this. This is what they're looking for in life, almost. Like,
it shows a commitment. It shows a commitment to excellence. And that's something else that is very important too, because that's another guest I could have on. Someone who I know was very successful in, like, you know, they lived a pretty like mediocre, like, all right, this is cool lifestyle. And no, the lifestyle they had, like, no one would be upset with, but they weren't satisfied with that. And they went back to school and they did even better with their lives now. So it's like you said earlier, people are constantly changing and finding their careers and where they want to end up in life. It's not a black and white statement to just be like, all right, this is what I want to do. That's it. And for some people it is. Some people, they wake up,
it's so easy.
They know what they want, and then they're good. For me, it was never like that. I mean, I could think of at least like 3 or 4 different ideas I had of jobs I was going to do. Even before YouTube, I wanted to be a sports broadcaster on ESPN. You know, that was my big thing. I wanted to be an analyst for the NBA or NFL. And, you know, I firmly believe that if I wanted to do that still to this day, like, I believe I would have ended up in that field, because that's the other thing you got to have is a commitment, a relentless commitment to getting to that goal. And I believe that with any goal I have, as you guys could tell, like, I've been doing YouTube for 10 years you can't tell me that someone would have gotten no results for 10 years and still been sitting here. And I can't say I didn't get no results. I guess I got some. But you can't tell me that someone would get like average, like, and you guys aren't average. It's me. So
It's not you, it's me.
you can't get average results and then still be there 10 years. Like, no way you're that committed. I really am. I love this that much. And I want to do this as a career. I want this to be my life. And I probably will die trying if I don't make it. You know what I mean? And if there's something in life you want that bad, go for it. If you find something you love that much that you're willing to go through all that for, don't let anyone shame you out of it, because that's the other thing. People will try to shame you out of it, call you crazy. Don't let anybody talk you out of it. If this is what you want, pursue it, do it, and do it to the best of your ability, man.
I feel like that kind of goes back to when I was saying that a lot of adults put a lot of pressure on younger adults, I'd say, because when you graduate school, like you're 17, 18 years old, so like you're becoming an adult by age, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. And I feel like different generations don't understand the same thing, if that makes sense. So like our grandparents generation definitely, I feel, don't understand like our generation right now type of thing. So jobs that is happening now, jobs like content creation, like I feel like YouTube as a career and YouTube as like all this other things, they wouldn't even look at twice back in like that generation. That wasn't even a thing. That was never brought up. That was never considered by anyone. Like anyone who did it would have been like crazy. There probably would not have been as many content creators that we have now almost back then. So when people talk about YouTube and content creation and their job is like TikTok and like all this stuff, a lot of people look down on it because they don't think it's an actual job.
Right.
But I feel like everything changes honestly year to year, because I can tell you right now, as we're parents now, going into our son's generation, like when he grows up in 20 years, I can tell you it's definitely going to be different. They're going to have a lot of different stuff that we might look at and be like, what? Like, what are you doing? What is that?
We have to talk another day about external pressure too, because if my son told me tomorrow he wanted to be a garbage man, I'd be like, all right,
I feel
you're
like
going to be the best garbage man out there. No, seriously.
A lot of people have to like, they don't give people chances or opportunities. They like to see it how they like to see it and want them to go from there. When really, like you said, you learn by trying things. He might want to be a garbage man, and now like you might think and be like, really? Like that's what you want to do? But if that's what they want to do, like that's what they want to do, I'm going to tell you, you're going to do whatever you want, because that's how you're going to figure out what you like and what you want to do in life.
I'm sure somebody's probably in the comments, no, you're just saying that now because you're new parents and he's a baby, but when he grows up, it says he wants to be a garbage man. Like, no, listen, this is what we're missing as a society. As long as my kid is happy, safe, and, you know, not relying on me every month for day-to-day, you know, basic needs and stuff. I'm talking about when he becomes an adult. Obviously, he's going to need that until he turns 18. But like once he becomes an adult and everything, and he's not relying on me for, you know, money, food and all that, and he can do his own thing, I'm cool with it. As long as if you can support yourself and you're saving money, because guess what? I'm sure there are more wealthy garbage men out there than there are like Wall Street bankers. I would almost bet you that. I'm sure there's has to be at least a handful out there. Why? Because it's not about, I've learned this. This is how I feel. It's not about what you do to make money. It's what you do with that money. And that is a bigger deal than anything. And I wish that someone taught me that a long time ago, because I thought that I worked a minimum wage job, which meant I didn't need to do anything with that money. That money was mine to just spend and, you know, do anything crazy with it. You know, I was smart in a way, because it wasn't like I was out just buying stupid crap. A lot of times I did. But I was buying a lot of stuff for my business and reinvesting myself in YouTube, even as like a 16-year-old kid working. So that's the only thing I think I did do right. But I wish somebody told me, yo, your money, your only boss. I'm telling you this because I wish somebody told me this. Your only boss is your bills. It's your only boss in life. If you can get past those, then you're straight. That's your only boss. So whatever career you choose, as long as they can support the bills that you have, you're golden. You're golden. Because let me ask you this. If you went to work tomorrow, right? You had no bills and you're like, today sucks, I'm walking out. Who's stopping you?
My feet.
Exactly.
My 2 feet.
Exactly. But what's stopping you from doing that right now?
I got bills.
Exactly. See what I mean? Boom.
I need money.
Like your supervisor isn't your boss.
Living ain't cheap.
Your manager, that's not your boss. Your
It's
boss,
your boss, but like not your boss. You feel me?
your boss is that financial thing, that bad investment you made, that expensive car, that expensive house, that that
designer
that affirm that buy now pay later stuff. That's your boss.
He's the worst.
That's your boss right there. For real though, seriously. And I wish somebody would have told me this, man. Like, I'm getting better now because I'm getting myself out of it. But man, if somebody would have told me these things years ago, I'd be in such a different financial space. And I'm telling you all this because I care about you and I want you to know. And I want you to get, I don't want you to end up like me and having to have, a boss that doesn't care. Like, this boss doesn't care if you're sick, doesn't care if you're tired, doesn't care if the baby's been cranky. That boss don't care about anything. That boss is there for
you
what?
gotta show up and work.
That boss is there for their money. That's it. So at the end of the day, as long as that boss is happy, your life's good. But the good part about that boss,
I'm sitting here actually like mind blown.
the good part about that boss is if you pay them on time, you keep them at bay, they ain't gonna bother you. They're chilling. They're sitting in their corner. The minute you don't pay, that's when you got problems with that boss. So take that as you may, as you go into your career goals, looking for careers and all that. I think that our career goals aren't really as big of a deal as our like financial goals in life. I think that if you pay attention to what your financial goals are, that should kind of tell you what kind of career you're looking for. So it's almost like reverse engineering it, If you want to have a big house, a lot of fancy cars and all that, you want to be a big time lawyer. You want to do something big time that's going to make you a lot of money. But if you are cool with just having like a chill house, modest car, a little bit of jewelry, nothing crazy, then, any job I shouldn't say any job, but a full-time regular job will do,
I know what you should have looked into.
What should I have looked into? Wow.
You said you wanted to be like on ESPN analysis for things. You want to know what you should have looked into doing?
What?
A talk show host. God dang. I'm sitting here, my mind literally blew up, came together, and like blew up again. I'm really sitting here like,
these things kind of just come to me though. Like, I didn't hear that anywhere.
I'm saying.
That kind of just came to me, not gonna lie. That came to me actually like
my mind would
2
think of
days
this,
ago.
Like in
2
a
or 3
week,
days ago.
when I hear this episode, I'm gonna think of something like I could have said and be like, oh dang it. Like, my mind does not work that fast. Like that like lagging symbol that's like,
yeah, I don't consider myself witty though.
That's my brain.
Like, a lot of people would say like, yeah, I'm pretty witty. I'm not. Like, a lot of times like people will say stuff and I'll think, man, like I'll think the next day, man, I should have said that yesterday. That would have been a good comeback. Like, I'm not witty like that. The only reason why I think of these things is this is things that like my life currently looks like and what I'm currently going through. So I'm only able to speak to what I'm going through. And if I had gone to be a talk show host back then, I wouldn't have experienced nothing. I wouldn't have been through anything yet. So I can't really talk about anything. You know what I mean?
No, you could have. It's not like you went through nothing. Everyone goes through things in life.
Everyone does go through things in life, but I just don't think I've
definitely had
been through
something that you've talked about. It's just might not have been something that you've wanted to talk about. You feel me?
Interesting. Fair. I think I
feel like I've made no sense during this episode.
It's okay. I consider myself to be somewhat knowledgeable on some things.
I'd agree.
But I think my biggest thing is I wish that someone was there to talk to me the way I'm talking to these guys now on this podcast. You know what I mean?
You needed this Julian as like your younger self.
Yeah, like I wish that I could go back and kind of teach young me, like, yo, everything I just said, basically. Like, I wish I could go back and there's a lot more I wish I could teach myself. And that's kind of the things I talk about here. Like, if I was talking to my younger self, if I went back in time and I was like, yo, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. And I don't even think I would say that, because I know I don't respond well to that. I would just suggest, I'd be like, listen, here's how life is going to go for you if you do this. So choose wisely and choose your, because like same thing I do for y'all. This is what it's going to look like if you go this route. Choose wisely. That's it. You know?
That's wild.
I wish. I need a time machine. Somebody make it.
Somebody make it. Dang. I mean, on that note, I didn't have anything else, so you kind of put us in like a great ending for this episode, but like,
what happened to question of the week?
Oh my God, my mind is so blown. I like forgot.
He's like, oh, that's it for this episode, guys.
See you next week. Bye.
See you next week.
So, based off of this episode, finding out what you want to do in life, where you're guiding yourself, where you want to end up, my question of the week was, what steps are you taking to try and see what you want to do?
All right, I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds to comment, or 10 seconds to comment.
Ready, go.
Go to YouTube, comment, and if not, I have something for you guys that's a like 2 or 3 step method. Actually, it's a 3-step method. Ready? All right. So here it is. I did this.
Give you actual 5 seconds.
I did. It was at least 10 seconds. I talked to it.
Talking was
I talked
the
to
timer?
it. Yeah. Me talking was the timer. So if you're stuck and you don't know what you want to do in life, take a piece of paper and pen right now. Go ahead, go grab it while I'm talking and I'm explaining. But take a piece of paper, pen, write on this paper 10 things that you're passionate about. You did that? Cool.
I feel like you put me through this.
I did put you through this. After
What I got though.
After you do that, take the 5 things, or no, sorry, I'm messing up already. Take those 10 things and bring the list down to 5. So you have to eliminate 5 things off that list that you are not passionate about. All right. Well, not so much that you're not passionate about, but not as passionate about as compared to those, other 5 that are more important. Now that you have that 5 right there, now you have to take that list and narrow it down to 2 things. In those 2 things, try to see if you can combine them and turn them into something. And if you turn them into something, I guarantee you that is a career you're probably passionate about.
I'm trying to think, because this was when you were in your apartment.
Mm-hmm.
You were by yourself. We had gone through this activity. I don't remember what I ended up with.
I don't remember either.
I remember you putting me through that though, and I was like, really?
I remember it brought us back to YouTube though.
I want to say one of the things I had was YouTube, but at that point, I don't think I had my channel, so I was like...
No, but we had the reaction channel. I think it brought us back to YouTube. YouTube,
I was
it was
something
about like
my answers.
talking or something, which you have a podcast now, so boom.
I wish I had that.
I don't have my paper anymore. I could tell you right now, if I made it though, like I might just do it, maybe, that's what we should do. If anybody wants to do this activity with me, we have a Discord. Comment on this video below. Make sure you have the Discord in the description. You could join our Discord and I'll go into voice chat with some of you guys and we could definitely do this together. Because it's definitely a fun activity.
I'm going to have to look. Now I'm really curious.
I want to give a big a shout out to, I learned this from iMaverick on YouTube. He's a Madden YouTuber. He taught me that like years ago. It's life-changing stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Y'all thought I came up with that? I ain't come up with that. Come on now. I'm smart, but I ain't that smart.
Where credit
exactly. You don't want. Listen, I ain't that smart, bro.
What steps am I taking? I don't really know what steps I'm taking because I don't really know what I want to do.
What steps am I taking?
Went through that whole thing doesn't answer the question.
Yeah. No,
I think the steps I'm taking is to actually, like, as cliche as it sounds, is to do like what I like to do, because I've realized that I really love this podcast. Like, I love podcasts now. I never would have said that in a million years. I would always be like, turn that off. This is weird. I don't want to listen to this. Blah, blah. No, I love podcasts now.
Yeah, she used to make me shut them off.
Listening. Literally, I would make him shut them off. I couldn't listen to them. It was so weird. I love listening to them. I love doing this podcast. Like, oh my God. I would definitely take steps into something in there. I don't even know what steps I would take for that, but something along podcast lines. Probably now something along YouTube lines. Now that I've said in my intentions, I have the 2 videos I need to edit. I would probably take steps in some type of editing because I feel like once I do a video, I kind of dread editing sometimes. I don't know why though.
I mean, that used to be her favorite thing to do. Now she dreads it. And
Right,
I used to
it's
kind of
so
dread it, but now I
weird.
love it.
Is that why I hate it? Because we flopped.
Probably. I love editing
We
now.
were like, we both can't like this.
Yo, like literally my last edit, I liked editing it, but it was a little rough because it didn't come out the way I want. Go check out my upload. I uploaded on Saturday. I got my first tattoo. Check it out. It was a great video. But I was struggling
that.
because I had got to the point where I had this edit and it was only 3 minutes long. I was like, because for those who don't know, I like to cut the fluff out. I like to make it really concise. I like to make it very, bare bottom basics. And I did that. And I like to, I don't want to, so what I do is I don't want to put any information in there that's not progressing the story. And I did that. And I had 3 minutes worth of footage. So I had to figure out what to do. So that made that edit kind of tedious. But to answer that question, what I do is I'm still trying new things. Like I love YouTube. I'm still trying new things. YouTube is my baby, my heart.
My baby.
But I'm still trying new things, trying to figure stuff out and figure out where I'm supposed to be in life. Maybe that is YouTube, maybe it's not, but only one way to find out, and that's put my best foot forward every single time I make a video and see where it goes.
Right.
Yeah, but I still try new things. Like I said, I'm trying music out. I bought a drone, trying to fly a drone. I go through Skillshare courses routinely. Sometimes I just add random obscure courses, like of just random things. Like I added like iPad drawing in to try to figure out how to draw on the iPad.
So when I come home and you're just drawing on the couch and be like, okay.
I added an iPad drawing course on Skillshare.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I think
love it.
So that's the other thing too. One last tip before we get out of here. If you find what you want to do, don't burn yourself out. Still find another hobby, because it's good to have other hobbies to take your mind. Because no one wants you need a break. You can't do that one thing 24/7 all day, every day. Your brain is going to explode. You need some time away. And right now, my time away from editing and YouTube has been music. I've been nose deep in music and I love it.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Crazy stuff. I want to hear your stuff. I can't wait to read these comments, man. She normally responds to comments on this channel, but I might go in and, say hello to everybody on this video and have some talks. And if you want to join our Discord, the link is in our YouTube description. Come over there.
I'm going to power through to future self, put Discord in the description.
Yeah, so the Discord's in there.
If it's not in there, I'm so sorry.
If it's not in there, comment and I'll put it in the comment section and
There you go.
pin it.
Back
But
up because
yeah.
I have a bad memory. If you know, you know. If you don't,
yeah. So join our Discord and we'll go and we'll do that activity. Do you have anything you want to say?
No, I don't think so.
All right, guys. Well, this was a fun episode. I hope you guys got something good out of it.
If it
And
made any sense at all.
I hope it helped out a lot. I hope. I really do.
If you go through this, like if you skim through, if you see me talking, just skip over it. If you see Julian talking, cue it.
Anyway, guys, we're out of here, man. Keep grinding. Keep chasing your dreams. Remember, nothing with having because easy. We out, man. Peace.